Welcome to the Norman Moore edition of Varsity. I'm Ryan Aber, joined by Justin Harper. Justin, some interesting things happened last week. Norman North suffers its first loss. Southmore, after losing a week before, bounced back. Starting with Norman North, did this team get exposed last week, or is this still a pretty good team who just had an off week?
Well, they weren't exposed. It's still a very good team, but they had more than just an off week. I mean, they might have had all their players off weeks combined in one game. At least they should hope so. But now Norman, rose to fourth in your rankings, and they are still that caliber of team. They just did not play well defensively, and on offense they threw 6 interceptions, which most teams don't win when you do that. So now they are exposed at the point that they've lost a little bit of that swagger that people might think, hey, they're unbeatable, or they're really tough. But no, they're still a good team. That wasn't all smoke and mirrors that got them to 4-0.
And then this week they get a chance to bounce back. Obviously, every week is a tough week in this district, but a really tough game for them coming up.
Yeah, and it's like you said, every week outside of Moore, which is struggling right now. But the other 7 teams in 6A1 are they can all match up well with each other, or as you saw with Mustang Norman North, they can be thorns in each other's sides. I think Del City and Norman North, I think Norman North matches up better with them, plus Del City upset Norman North last year, so they've got their full attention. It's a bad time for Del City to catch Norman North, actually, considering what they did last year to them and the loss that Norman North is coming off of. But, yeah, it's like you said, this week a big game, and then as soon as they turn around the next week, it'll be another one. So
yeah, pretty much any time you're not playing Moore in this district is a big game, and really a winnable game and also a losable game for you.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Staying with 6A1, Southmore is a team that got surprised a couple weeks ago by PC North, and then they bounced back with a big win against Edmond Santa Fe. Another really big game for them this week against Lawton, a Lawton team that lost the first game of the season to Del City last week. Right,
yeah, just like you said, all the craziness. Norman North beats PC North beats Southmore. I mean, they all sort of take turns, but Southmore had a really big showing last week because they not only came back and got a big win, but they didn't have their offense. I mean, it was just a monsoon. I was at the game. It was windy, it was cold, and it just rained nonstop. And this is a team that averages 300 yards a game through the air, and they completed 1 pass for 16 yards. Now, it was for a touchdown, a good percentage, but they were totally out of their offense, had to go strictly to a running game. And to win 28-12 against a solid Edmond Santa Fe team without being able to run what you're used to, that says a lot for them.
And how important was it for them to be able to run the ball after losing Keon Thompson for the year and having to rely on a running back who wasn't as tested?
Right. Well, Andrew Long is just a sophomore, but considering the game action he got last year, which was 5 games after Keon was injured, and the way he's run all this season, he doesn't play like a sophomore, and he doesn't feel like a sophomore. I mean, when he goes out there, the experience is already there. He's had a fumbling problem a little bit, but if he gets hold of that, he's in great shape. He had 176 yards and 2 touchdowns the other day, so I think their running game is in solid shape.
All right, Justin, well, thanks for joining us, and thank you for checking us out. And join us every day at newsok.com/varsity for the best high school coverage anywhere.